Department. At 1100 hours on February 23rd, 2022, I was notified by dispatch to respond to 1234 Main Street for a report of a structure fire that was under control but required a cause and origin investigation. Upon my arrival, I met with Lieutenant Taylor, who briefed me on the fire, which had been visible from both kitchen windows and was spreading quickly to the living room area. The fire was extinguished and confined to the kitchen, and there was a noticeable V pattern that indicated the origin was in the area of the stove. The hometown fire department completed its suppression and taped it off for further investigation prior to additional overhaul. The Williams family lived in the single-story, single-family wood-framed residence, which consisted of a husband, wife, 9-year-old son, and 4-year-old daughter, all of whom made it out of the structure safely. Miss Williams' statement, I got a statement from Miss Williams. She reported that she was preparing breakfast for the children when her cell phone rang. She walked out to the front porch where she became engaged in a phone conversation with her friend, with bacon still cooking on the stovetop. The grease became so hot that it ignited and vertically spread to the ceiling. Once off the phone, the homeowner noticed smoke coming from the kitchen. After going to the kitchen, located the source of the smoke, saw that the pan was burning, called 911, and then evacuated the house. Evidence collected, or the data collected, was we found the lighter next to the stove partially burned, metal screen on the back right burner, and metal pound with burner marks on the bottom. When analyzing the data, we found small coil electric stoves on high heat settings can get as hot as 932 to 1112 degrees Fahrenheit. A large coil on the highest setting can reach 1472 or 1652 Fahrenheit. Aluminum melts at about 1221 Fahrenheit, and iron melts around the point of 2000 or 2800 degrees Fahrenheit. So you can melt pans if the stovetop temperature is hot enough. And a grease fire happens when grease becomes too hot. When the heating of grease starts to boil, and then it starts to smoke, and then it will catch fire. Most vegetable oils have a smoking point around 4,500 degrees Fahrenheit, while animal fats and bacon fats start smoking around 350 degrees Fahrenheit. According to our study, the contents on the stovetop, a working hypothesis was established that the origin of the fire was inside the pot. A pot of grease was left unattended on the left element of the stove, causing the grease to reach its ignition point and cause the fire to spread to the hood and the cabinets above. However, conclusion ruling that an accidental cooking fire could not be drawn yet. More data had to be analyzed to make the claim irrefutable. All reasonable and potential ignition sources which were close to the origin point were identified and evaluated. We found the lighter, so the smoking materials, we had to consider a potential ignition source, as well as the possible residents could have been carelessly discarded a cigarette. But a single cigarette cannot be a potential heat source, but an entire ashtray dumped into a garbage can could have the potential or have the competent heat source. But the garbage was nowhere near the area of origin, and the contents of the garbage can, were still somewhat intact. With the source and the hypothesis as potential ignition source, the source was disproved. The range was considered as a heat source. The inside of the oven was intact, so the fire did not originate inside the oven. The left side of the control panel located on the back of the stove showed signs of damage from the bottom left to the upper right. The control panel on the left side showed the signs of the greater damage in the face of the panel, but it was compared to the inside of the panel, there was no damage, or very minor damage. So in conclusion, the investigation is that it originated in the pot with the grease reaching its ignition point. The heat built up inside the pot and spread to the hood and the cabinets above, melting in the control panel on the left side of the stove. So it is believed to be accidental, and the cause was by leaving food cooking unattended on the stove.